Hi everyone. Hi. How are you? So today I'm going to be chatting with my friend Sarah, who's just messaged me saying she's ready. And we're going to be talking about a lot of things: positivity, positive body image, mental state of mind. Sarah's a very, very talented dancer and actor and a very fun person, and I think you guys will enjoy watching us chat today. Where are you, Sarah? Okay, so this is Auntie Shruti back at it. So let me see, there she is. Should work. Notice how I'm all like fancily dressed on top and then wearing like sweatpants in the bottom. Hi!
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm so good. I've never done this before, like joining somebody's live, so this is...
There's a first time for everything, darling.
And
How are you?
Right. Oh, I'm good. I'm just waking up kind of, like maybe 2 hours ago. I woke up, had some coffee in my Bob Ross mug. The colors try to keep me happy, and yeah, I'm just...
So for everyone, Sarah is in Los Angeles right now, and it's early morning there. So I thank you even more for waking up in the morning and doing this with me.
Yeah.
That's so sweet of you.
I'm ready.
So, well, thank you so much for joining me. So Sarah and I met how many years ago? What, three?
Probably 3 years ago.
3 years ago. We met on a beach.
Yes.
Yeah,
On
so
a beautiful
cool.
beach. You just
On a
came
beautiful
walking
beach.
up to me.
And I wanted to start by saying that, I think women always talk about how we need to be like more friends with each other and like support each other. And that's something that I practice and try to practice as much as I can. And if I don't like someone, it's because I don't like them as a person. Not like woman to women, like why is she like? Not that vibe at all. And I really felt that energy from you as well. I thought you were like super positive, and it was so lovely getting to know you, and it still is. So I wanted to tell everyone. So Sarah's like very cool. She is a ballet dancer. She's also a Golden Globe nominated actress, and she's an all-round badass, lovely girl. But I wanted to ask you, how long did you study and perform ballet? Before becoming an actor?
Yeah. Well, one other thing to say about you is that I'm usually really afraid to make friends with women because I've had so many experiences in ballet and just in competition with so many women in my life. And when I met you, I felt the exact same way. I was like, you're my boyfriend's friend. And I was kind of like, oh, she's so beautiful. I hope it's not one of things, And then I was just like, oh, yes, just get along. So I started dancing when I was around 3, and then I became professional around 18, and then I stopped around 26, 27.
And what do you mean by you stopped? Meaning you stopped being a part of that ballet world and dancing on the stage? Okay.
I stepped out of being...
But you continued to dance and teach and stuff?
Yeah, I still do. I dance, I choreograph, I do gigs, and I, create music videos and things like that. But I'm not in that ballet company environment anymore.
And what kind of an environment is that? So that, the people watching and people like me who've never really been in that world, what kind of an environment is that?
So it's like being on a sports team, like you guys, you're a team for sure. There's a lot of you, but it's both sexes, so male and female, and you support each other, but you're also in competition with each other.
Very competitive.
Yeah, because you all want to, you're doing a performance and there's only going to be one lead. Like in a movie, there's only going to be one female or male lead in the movie. You're competing against like 70 people every day to get those parts, but you have to be on the team together. So you train together, you sweat together, you hang out together, you party together, you have this whole life that you're, with these people all the time. And then the casting kind of sheet goes up and you're like, all right, my best friend got the part that I wanted. So do you support them or, do you...
And that's a choice about goodness that you can make in that in that moment? You know, do I choose to be like negative or positive about this?
Yeah.
And when did you switch into acting? And what made you switch into acting?
So what's so funny is I was kind of going crazy. I was living in Germany and I was kind of going crazy already because I felt like I wasn't able to be as creative as I wanted to be in that environment where like I had a teacher telling me what to do every day, and it was very, very stressful being in the ballet company. And then I basically got the luckiest situation anyone could receive, and I feel like karmically it happened for a reason. I got a phone call from a choreographer that was doing a television show in New York, and they had auditioned the entire country already in America for this part, and they couldn't find anyone to do it. They found one girl, but she was, I guess, she was going to get married and had some religious things that she didn't want to be part of a show like that because it's very gritty that I was on. And then I did an audition. I flew to New York, and I got the part just from one audition. And
that's amazing.
Super terrifying because I had never acted before. But I felt so free finally because I was able to be even more creative than I had been my whole life. So,
but that's lovely about life. Sometimes it gives you things that you could not have even envisioned asking for yourself. It just gives it for you.
Never in my head would I have thought, oh, you know what? You could be a TV star. You could be the lead on a TV show. I loved acting on stage, and I felt so good when I was telling a story on stage. But I never thought like, oh, you should just go audition and be an actress. I never believed that I had that capability. So it was really a confidence builder. But then I got there and was like, oh my God, this is really hard. So
well, I come from an acting family, and my first film, I was so bad because I was like, and then I was like, oh, this is really hard. It's really hard to be good at this.
Because it's like playing pretend, you know, for me, it's like play pretend, become somebody else, which is so cool to like be able to be somebody else. But committing to being that for an entire month or 4 months, or then you start really becoming that character and figuring it out. And it's like, it's challenging. It's way more difficult than I thought because ballet, there's no words. So I know how to act without words, but I have no training.
But I'm sure there are actors looking at what, you know, ballerinas or singers, like I'm a musician, going, how do they do that easily? So it's just like about what skill set that you're used to. Now, there's something that I've always loved about your posts, and even when we spoke, you always talk about body image. So in the ballet world, I would assume that there is a stereotypical body that is expected. I'm assuming it is slender, small, petite, flat-chested, smaller waist, smaller bums. So, you know.
Yeah, just smaller everything.
Smaller everything. Yeah. Teeny tiny. But I don't think women like you and I fit that mold. I mean, I think we're not like Amazonian, but we're definitely not petite. So how did you survive psychologically the pressures of the physical demands of ballet?
I didn't for a lot of years. I really didn't.
Yeah, that's honest. I did.
I mean, yeah, that's the truth. There's so much pressure, you know, in any career where your body is what you're selling. Like in acting, you are your product. So you have to take care of it to an extreme. And a lot of people don't understand that. They think, oh, you're just putting up face creams or this and that to show that you get free product or whatever. But in fact, you have to take care of that because you're selling this to get the parts. So as a dancer,
I don't think there's an option unless you're like a famous unless some people become famous for the way they are in the size that they are.
Right.
For the rest of us, it's a constant thing.
Yeah, this is the competition again. Who can be the most perfect? And it's just such a silly competition because.
But surely the good thing about acting is that you didn't need to be petite anymore.
Yes, and I feel like dancing is changing a little bit, but it's still kind of in that same mindset. But when I was professionally dancing, I wasn't focusing on what was actually good for my body. I was focusing on how to get the most skinny. So every inch of, you know, I would look at something like this and be like, oh my God, you know, every little bit of was critiqued. And so,
and also everyone is in that mind space, so you don't feel like a weirdo doing it to yourself.
Yes, everybody's like that, and everyone has their own little mania. Like you get obsessive with it. Some of my friends would take plates of vegetables and they'd have like onion, you know, spinach, things like not even touching each other, and that would be their whole lunch. It's just like little portions of food. I was more like I wouldn't eat the whole day, because when you don't eat, you actually get this kind of false sense of energy where you get like hyperactive.
Yeah, because your body's on edge. It's like,
yes, it needs nutrients, so it's in hyper mode to keep you functioning. So the whole day I felt like, oh, I would just drink coffee and I would stay kind of hyper, but that would make me in a really bad mood. So then
I think it's so beautiful that you're honestly talking about this, because I think a lot of people, I mean, I still struggle with my weight because I was skinny my whole childhood, and then one day somebody just went, you know, and I was like, huh, you know. And there are days I'm like, I'm doing a photo shoot today, and I'm just like, you know, and it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. And I think it's wonderful that you're being honest about this. And what have you found,
I mean,
is the balance for you today? How do you balance it? How do you find the balance now?
So now I've figured out that I need to eat for myself, and I don't need to eat for any purpose besides taking care of myself.
Sure.
That's the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway is that I wasn't caring for myself because I wanted to look like something. And now I realize the more I take care of myself, the better I look and the better I feel. And though I'm not dancing anymore, I needed that separation to really see that my life is not, it's just not about the aesthetic of how I look. It's who I am and how I feel inside that's going to make me a better person and make me more beautiful from inward. Therefore, people will want to be closer to me, be friends with me. While before I was
your inner radiance,
beautiful, but ugly inside.
100%.
Doesn't give you a lot of friends, you know?
I mean, or it gives you friends that you don't really want or shouldn't want.
Or ones that support those, you know, unhealthy things that you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. And another thing, speaking of, you know, you're coming to terms with your inner self and how you want to feel. I think quarantine has been a time where people maybe who have not thought about it before are suddenly thinking about it, right? And I know that you are part of something called Dance Church. And we were talking earlier before we decided to chat in front of you all about how there's a lot of pressure right now for people to feel like there's these 100 different blogs and video things and Instagram things of like, now you have no excuse, you get fit and you've got to get these kind of bums when you're out of quarantine and your arms need to be like, you know, and it's so much of it. And I think that dance is a beautiful, I mean, I like yoga, but I don't like it that much because I'm just like, okay, you know, but like, dance is a beautiful, easy, fun for anyone way. So we were talking about that, and Sarah told me about something called Dance Church. So why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, so it's actually every Sunday for you guys at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So that's 10:30 your time, right?
10:30 p.m. for us. Yeah.
It's basically what it is. It's a structured dance party. What it is. It's there's a leader who's going to be on a live stream. Usually we have it in person, but there's a leader who's going to like lead you through some movements, but they're super, super basic, and it's not moving for a little bit over an hour. So you just dance about an hour. And
it's just fun,
very
free,
freeing. It's just a fun way to express yourself right now. And it's like you have to learn choreography or you have to be a good dancer. There's no have to be's. Every to it, shapes, sizes, ethnicities. It's like a very open forum for everyone to kind of come together and it's super, super loving when it's in person. But in this case, it's a good way to kind of wake up your body and have a little fun rather than, you know, forcing yourself to do a workout just because you have to.
Yes, definitely. So after this chat, I'm going to put up a little story with the dance church thing, so you guys should check it out. Speaking of technology connecting all of us, you know, something that we've often spoken about is how the cyber environment or the virtual worlds that we're all a part of, your Instagrams, your YouTube, your Twitter, whatever, your social media platforms, can be a place of severe negativity as well. And I, as someone who comes across like, it's really funny because I think, touchwood, by the grace of God, I have like 90% positivity, and I have some really, really lovely, you know, I call them like my cyber family. They're so loving, and their messages in the morning make me feel really, really good. Where they're like, we understand you and we love you for who you are. And I think that's something that we all need to feel. But in the same way, you also get people who find some sort of pleasure or joy in being negative to other people. Do you feel that during quarantine that it's increased or decreased, or how is it over there, in your opinion?
Well, of course, we're all paying like more attention to our social media because we're stuck in this situation. And I have never, I mean, I'm not going to lie. Before I kind of woke up to life, which I think happens to a lot of people, but at certain stages in their life, they realize that saying mean things about other people serves you nothing. It
does no good. Yeah.
And so I've started to kind of, because I'm on my phone way more, I'm starting to read comments and notice things and wake up to people who kind of like to hurt each other, and they feel that is doing some kind of service or good or giving people entertainment of some kind. And I just, at this point in my life, I have no understanding of why anyone would want to hurt somebody else, especially when we're going through such a crazy time.
Well, isn't it lovely in a very negative way that the coronavirus doesn't give two shits about where you're from, who you are, what gender you are, how much money you have. And this is the thing that, you know, equalizes everything. And you think that this is a time where we would all be like, yeah, let's not be bad. But it doesn't seem to be happening as much.
Yeah.
I want to ask you the one question that I ask all of my non-Indian female friends. Are people hoarding toilet paper in LA as well?
Yes.
Why? Are
so
you
crazy.
holding toilet paper? Do you want to confess something, Sarah?
There's a video going around of this father and his daughter, and they're doing the math on toilet paper, amount of toilet paper that people have been getting, like on average in America. You'd have to take like 160 something poops a day to use all of it.
Oh God.
Also, like, what's the big deal about toilet paper? Like, so many things can be turned into toilet paper. That's the last thing on earth that you would really need. Like, go find a leaf. What you need is food. You need shelter. Like, you don't. Toilet paper is not that important in the grand scheme of things, you know.
No, it really isn't. Because when I saw people hoarding toilet paper, I'm like, are they going to eat it when they run out of food? Like, is that why? Because you could eat it with some hot sauce. Like, what could you do with it?
I know.
What is the one thing that you have learned from this time of quarantine that you'd like to share with all of us?
The what?
What is the one thing that you've learned in this time of quarantine that you'd like to share with all of us?
Doing nothing is okay.
I love that. I love that. And that's something that I really, really struggled with as well. Because I was like,
millennials do. Millennials have this crazy pressure. They call it burnout syndrome. Brandon actually sent me an article this morning, and I was reading about like, stop trying to prove something right now. Like, stop trying to do anything right now. You're in the middle of a pandemic. You're in the middle of a humongous crisis. And we're being, like what you said, being pressured to like get that bikini body today. And like every time I open my Instagram, like do you think that you're chubby during the quarantine? You should probably do this exercise. And it's like, oh, shut up. I'm trying to just create a relationship with myself right now because I haven't had the time to do that because we're constantly like, I have to do this, I have to do that, or else I'm a failure. If I don't do everything productive today, like I suck, I'm not good enough. And then it's like between like forcing yourself to do tons of stuff and then hating yourself because you didn't do it.
Yeah.
It's just
not worth it.
Finding
I think that's a
balance
wonderful message. It's like,
great.
Do what you feel like doing right now, because this is probably the only chance we'll get before things go back to normal, hopefully sooner rather than later. But to just really use this time not to be like I was saying, like in the beginning, I was like, I've been so busy. I mean, I went through a cleaning spree at home that was so unnatural till like 4 in the morning when I was like, what am I doing? And now I've like eased into it, but I'm like, yeah, I want to work out, I want to cook. I also want to make a video of it because that's like my new thing. Like,
yeah.
do it at my pace, you know? So I think that's a wonderful message. And
it's so funny though. Like,
huh?
I woke up the first couple of days, I was like, oh, this is awesome. I can relax. And then I started getting perspective about like what other people are going through. And it's really interesting. Like you could be the most wealthy person in the world right now and be super unhappy because you're not happy, but you can have nothing and you could be so happy to just have this moment with your family or just having this moment in general, even though you're going through struggles. Like it doesn't matter where you are, how much money you have, all this, like what you said, it affects everybody in a different way. But if you truly have a good relationship with yourself and a true happiness, then this time it can be a positive thing for you. But absolutely. I have many wealthy friends who have big houses and they're like, I don't know what to do. And it's because they're not quiet here.
You're right. There are some people who are just not handling isolation well. And people are like, oh my God, you're on your own. How are you? And I'm like, I like it. I'm okay. I'm fine. You know? And I was like, maybe I really am, built for this. But that's good because if you can't be happy in your own company, you can't expect anyone else to be happy in your company. I think that's the basic thing, But I want to say thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your wonderful wisdom. And you have to come to India soon when all of this is done and we can travel again.
Yes.
Thank you, my darling. And for everyone who's watching, go check out Sarah and Flesh and Bone. Where is it streaming in India?
It's on Amazon. It should be on Amazon Prime.
Okay, so go watch Sarah and Flesh and Bone on Amazon Prime. And thank you for coming. Love you. Mwah. Thank you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Live.